Welcome to the Lion's Den. I'm your host, Seth, and this is a place for men to have real talk in real time. This first episode, crazy enough, was actually pre-recorded, but we just wanted to see how the dynamics would be. You're going to hear information and feedback from myself, Nathan, Will, and Larry. And they were just going to talk about their experiences and their input when it comes down to stepfathers and fathers stepping up. And then we're going to go into success and what success looks like. So please stay around, listen, comment, call me, whatever. We want to make sure this is a great experience. And also, if there's any other topic you would like to hear, straight real talk, you let us know. All right? Get ready. Get comfortable for the Lion's Den. It's hot.
So what are the challenges to being a stepfather?
Challenges. Being a stepfather. Man, I would say one of the challenges of being a stepfather is knowing your role as the stepfather. You get what I'm saying? Things have to be conveyed completely transparent with not just the individual you're dealing with, but also the child, because the child can use you or use the mother to say, hey, well, you know, blah, blah. You get what I mean? That's a challenge. And you want to love this child like they're your own. You know what I mean? You want to, because of the woman that you're with. You want to spend your life with this woman, you want to spend life with this child, right? That's what you sign up for. But it's a lot of times when, if the child feels any amount of animosity because her or his mother isn't with their father anymore, their biological father, they're going to pass on whatever resentment and be that wedge. You get what I'm saying? So it's hard, because I realize that individuals, being a stepfather, have to be extra to show, hey, I'm really here for you type of thing, when I don't think that's necessary. Seriously, in my opinion, it's the mother's job to lay that groundwork. You get what I mean? Because ultimately, you're there for her. You know what I mean? That's my thought process.
So I experienced firsthand, my aunt and uncle. My aunt's my blood aunt. You know, my uncle is obviously the in-law. And I saw growing up where the kids who were like preteens, early teenagers, had an impact on the marriage, to where he ended up having a child out of wedlock, and they split the marriage apart. But it was not the wedlock. It wasn't him having a kid out of wedlock. It was more so the kids was just so against him that nothing he can do was perfect.
Exactly.
And so they used the mom to play against the dad, and he drove them apart. And it eventually, I'm not making an excuse for him, because that's my uncle, it's like my dad. But I could see it. I saw it growing up as like 16, 17 years old. Right. So I can only imagine what he was experiencing. We ain't even had to talk about it yet, but I already know I can experience it. Just seeing it, that the kids drove them apart, and it drove them to divorce. Right. It was the kids, because even the kids still now,
and they know what they're doing.
On her, to get married for the third time. And the kids are still a full part in their relationship. Exactly. So you gotta watch the manipulation of the kids. Got to. Kids are, even though they're kids, they can be very.
They ain't stupid.
Manipulative.
Yeah, they ain't stupid.
Especially when they know you're not the dad.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that communication between the mom and the dad has to be like, that foundation has to be set.
Absolutely.
Solid. It has to be solid. You can't be treating this kid right, especially if you're in a blended family where you got kids with the mom, and then you got kids that was from a previous relationship. You can't show any favoritism. Everybody has to be treated fair across the board.
And the timing has to be right on that too. The time frame is vitally important, because as you sit back and you orchestrate what's going on, you know, you can sit up there and have someone come into a child's life, and if that rapport is not there,
that's right.
You know, I would tell from my example, you know, my stepfather came into my life we were like 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I already have it made up in my mind that, hey, I made it this far.
Yeah.
What can he do?
Yeah, who are you? Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's gotten to the point now over the years or whatever, I come accustomed to saying Pops, but technically, you know, I basically grew myself up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't really need that father figure, you know, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you know, it's that time and it's that setting, making sure that, you know, everything is on time, and that, you know, it's gonna take time. It's not gonna like happen overnight or whatever, especially when there's never been a bond that's been created with the biological father.
That's right.
To the stepfather that's coming in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm gonna take it there to the beginning. In a relationship, you have to have that candid discussion, because as always, people come with issues that was before you, to include children.
Baggage.
So you need to be able to understand it's not necessarily baggage, it's more so experiences that brought their current selves to the picture. So you have to kind of understand what their climate looks like before you engage, because your significant other may be raised one way, you may be raised another. Back in the day, we believe in whooping ass. This parent may believe in timeouts. Ain't no timeouts in my household when I was coming up. It was a timeout after you getting your ass whooped, and it may be timeout to switch somebody else. So you have to understand that climate on what's acceptable and what's not. And even though you may love this child, it's still not your biological child. You may love this child, but you still have to honor the mother in that situation, because that can create that wedge between that relationship that can actually ultimately end it.
Yeah.
Because you have an aspect where you're trying to teach something that women may not know or understand. Women have the nature to nurture children and protect them, but in actuality, they're prohibiting their growth.
Yeah, they can enable them. They can. And with that being said, I think that, so the individual that's coming into the situation, like, okay, I'm meeting a young lady, she has a child, I need to see where her head is at. You get what I'm saying? Have to be able to see where her head is at and what she really wants from me. Because it's individuals that become stepfathers, they think, okay, now I'm the daddy and this is the rule. And then see, that's where they fuck up. You see, that's number one. Then number two, if the child is old enough, talk to that child and say, hey, I'm not your father. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not going to act like I'm your father. You got one. Regardless of what he do or don't do, that's your father. Right? I'm here for you if you need me, and I'm here for your mother or my wife. You get what I'm saying? So it's a working relationship now. It don't have to be, you know, I'm stepping in to take over his role, because you got to understand, if your father is not here at the end of the day, I'm here right now, so I'm gonna respect you, but I also want respect as well. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, just do whatever you want to do. No, it's still rules to this, because I'm still an individual. You know what I mean? But it start with the woman, you know, and she got to be on the same page. If that conversation is not made, bruh, this kid's go hog wild.
Drama.
Yeah.
But the key critical part is communication, that you stated before. Is developing that personal relationship with that individual and having that, you know, transparency and letting them know that, hey, I'm not your father. Yeah. But what I can do is I will speak proudly of that individual, because I want to make sure that I don't stunt any growth. That's right. Whatsoever. Right. In your personal and your professional relationships moving forward. That's right. Because that's what we need. And a lot of times or whatever, believe it or not, within society or whatever, it's predicated on the simple fact that, you know, hey, now I'm the new individual that's in house or whatever. You will abide by such and such. That's right. And, you know, it's all about our tactical, you know, way of doing things or whatever. And, you know, I said this early on, it could be tied to the military. Doesn't have to be tied to the military. You can have a conversation with an individual and they will hear what they want to hear and see what they want to see. Yeah. And, you know, depending upon what it is that you state, you know, verbally or non-verbally or whatever, they will pick up on that quicker than what it is that they will pick up in the message itself. So that's just how important it is to let you know that, hey, you do play a critical role, but just understand that you're going to have to take the part of being a leader and stepping back and letting, you know, that son or that daughter take the lead and say, hey, this is exactly what it is that I like, this is what I dislike, and then build upon that moving forward. Yeah. That's just my thought process.
Yeah. I had the experience I was in my son's life at the age of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad was nowhere around, and still nowhere to be around, and he's now 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have the conversation, hey, I'm your stepdad, this is my house, this is how it goes.
Right.
It happened naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So it took, I don't even remember when he started calling me daddy. I can't even remember, but I know when he was 2.
Right.
It just happened because I was so far in his life, and when we got married, he just came with us, right? So we became a family, and I just tried to instill in him what I grew up with, because I grew up without a dad. So my uncles played a part as far as, stepdaddies, daddies, whatever you want to call it. So I'm trying to instill in him, hey, my life wasn't as easy as how you coming up.
That's right.
Like, to me, he's coming up in suburbia life.
That's right.
I grew up in the city life.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different
Oh,
experience.
yeah, it is.
And so I'm trying to instill in him that trying to be a thug, trying to listen to this rap music and be all out in these streets, that ain't what you really want.
That's right.
Because if you want, we can take a trip over there and I can put you right there and drop you off and leave you.
Hey, scared straight.
Yeah. But
Tupac can make a man out of you.
So my thing with him is, I think he gets it. I think we on the same page. That he knows I have his best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to be better than me, or I want to have a better foundation for you going forward. I'm trying to give you all the potholes that are out there before you graduate high school. Because in the real world, it's going to be an eye opener for you.
So, you know what now? That brings up a good point. When do you stop? Meaning, when that child isn't picking up what you're putting down, you're trying to communicate with your significant other. Like, okay, now, I know what I said I'm subscribing to, right? I know what I want to do with this family, but you're not working with me. When do you actually just, call it quits? If so, because some people don't believe in that. Some people say, look, I'm just going to work at it, and I don't believe in just walking away. But how much is your own sanity worth?
When you can't go home no more, and you rather go other places than to go home.
Right. Sitting in the damn driveway because you don't want to go into some bullshit.
Go sit at a bar, go stay at work 10 hours after,
Yeah, right.
You don't want to, you want to do everything in the world but go home. I think that's
your damn blood pressure get high.
Yeah.
Because you can only talk about something so much before you stress yourself out. But how logical is that to stress out on the strength of somebody else? To me, that's a very illogical thought process. So the way I look at that one is, if a person does not believe what you're doing is beneficial to that child, then it's your own responsibility to step back from that. Because what happens is you're going to keep beating yourself upside the head for something someone does not want to receive. So the way I look at that is, when you step back, you allow yourself to see the whole court, almost like basketball when you're sitting on the bench. Now you get to see that mother, that kid out there and then life. How's it working out for them? Now, I'm not saying don't advise, but I'm saying don't be that go-getter, because if you're being that father and that advocate and that mother's not supporting you, you're wasting your time. That mother has to realize that she needs you. Until she comes to you and say, I need you to do that, and can be what I say, a co-parent, and actually let you take that lead as a man in that household, you need to take that seat back and allow her to see that she cannot do that by herself. I'm not saying no woman has never raised a child. Hey, America, don't get mad at me. I'm not saying that. My mom was a single mother. But what I'm saying is, when you're married, it's a different perspectives you got to look at that from. So you got to be able to step back and tell her it gets easier. Sometimes it's pretty entertaining when you hear the kid talking back, like, I'll beat the ass. They ain't gonna come to me like that. But she's getting stressed out that she come to you. Go ahead and click back through power and press that play button, cut it back on, because it ain't your business right now. Don't come back complaining about something trying to prevent. Try to be that solution, not part of that problem.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it.
You stated a critical point. You said, when do you stop? You never stop. You never stop, especially with the role that you're portraying and the role that you're taking on for that individual. You just need to be there when a critical time, tends to...
So you say be ready. Be ready. Oh, yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Be ready. Be there. Be ready to step up, step in. Right? Because, often at times or whatever, we want individuals there to solve problems, when actually they're just listening for an ear.
That's
for
right.
an individual to be an active listener.
That's right.
I don't want you to solve it right there. I just need you to listen. So I need you to show up, step in, be there to actively be engaged, and then try to give me some type of questioning technique or some broadening experience to where I'm able to solidify the process and act upon it, to where I know I can use that and say, okay, this is the steps that I need to take moving forward or whatever. Because again, as I alluded to earlier, it's all about timing. When did you come in? So, you know, you mentioned that you came into your son's life, you know, your stepson's life, you know, at the age of 2. You know, I don't have any stepkids or whatever, but what I can say is that my stepfather, who I technically call my father or whatever, came into my life at the age of 11 or 12 or whatever. He was there when I needed him the most.
There we go. So he didn't force his way.
Absolutely. He didn't force his way at all. And you know what? It's funny that we're having this conversation right now, and this is the topic that we just so happen to open up with, because of the simple fact of, you know, he came in and he made that clear statement. I'm not your father.
That's what it is.
I'm here as a figure to make sure that whatever male perspective or tools, resources it is that you need to improve yourself, that's what I'm here for.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because there was a situation that I was involved in years ago when my ex, she had a child, and her child only knew me as his father. All right. And when he got older, he started to call me daddy, and I stopped him. All right. I stopped him. All right. The reason why is because I needed him to know the difference. Right. So it wasn't something that felt good. Oh, that's nice. You know, don't get me wrong. I was appreciative of the fact that he wanted to call me father, you know, daddy, but I wanted him to know the difference. But at the end of the day, you need to know my role, and you need to know your father's role, your biological father's role. Now, if he didn't want to be there, that's on him, and that's amends that you have to make with him. But right now, I am here, right? But however, I'm not your father. There are women out there right now that have kids calling other men daddy, knowing damn well that's not the father of your child, right? And they're not being honest with their child just because of a mistake, of a 15-minute mistake, knowing that it was a bum. That you dig what I'm saying? 15, if that, right? If that, you know what I mean? A little bit of Cavassier, you know what I mean? A little bit of num juice, and not. But then you got sober, you realized he wasn't shit, but then the other person, right, that was there, that was thorough. Now you want your child to see you as their father. No, now we gonna be. Yeah, I'm not. I can't save you. Now I'll be here. We can work it out. Absolutely. But you're not going to change that dynamics. You get?
I would say, you know, I just reunited with my father, you know, here on the recent trip, my biological father, and I will tell you, my mother never spoke ill will of this man, not one time. You know, although there was promises and things that, you know, he set out for, that he never, you know, rebounded from.
That's right.
And so, needless to say or whatever, you know, I had candid conversations. I would have candid conversations with my son and my daughter, and letting them know that, hey, you know, the life that we live from a single parent perspective, you are blessed to have both parents inside the household.
Absolutely.
Because that's very rare, especially within our Black community.
That's
so
right.
I'm just going to be real.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And so with that being said, my wife ended up having a family reunion down in Tampa. And, you know, I didn't want to do it, you know, because there came a time earlier in my son's life when I want to say he was roughly about 2 years of age, that, you know, my biological father had the opportunity of seeing him, and we flew in from overseas back stateside, and he wasn't willing to make, all I needed him to do was just make a 20-minute trip.
20 minutes?
20-minute trip, 20 to 30-minute trip or whatever. He blamed it on medication. He said, I can't do it.
Was it weed?
I can't go back. It wasn't weed. And so, needless to say, moving forward, you know, I've never rebounded from that. And then when I ended up going down to Florida, and, you know, I reached out to my sister and I said, look, I'm willing to take a chance. This was the part that surprised me the most. Kids, as I stated earlier, will see what they want to see and hear what they want to hear, right? We actually met up at a restaurant. And when I tell you, when my son and daughter came to be introduced to him, they didn't even want to shake his hand. Just because of the simple fact of, in their minds, they're saying, how could you neglect, you know, your own child knowing that, they're a product of what you brought into this world.
That's right.
And that amazed me, honestly.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I just told myself that, hey, I can't, tell them they need to act this way or do this or do that or whatever. That's purely their own feelings of what it is. So I say that to say it ties back to what we stated about earlier. It's all about timing. It's all about being an active listener. It's all about, making sure that, you're able to provide them the tools and resources, to be successful and just being an active listener. But
yeah.
I got an anthem for this topic.
What's that?
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. My biological father didn't bother. Listen to that record.
Okay.
It's stating everything that we're stating right now.
Really?
You ever heard this record?
Say that again.
Shaquille O'Neal's My Biological Didn't Bother. Go listen to that record. I'm still
My biological didn't bother?
My biological didn't bother.
I thought you were trying to say Shaq was his daddy.
Yeah, I was like, but you know what? You know what?
The deepest record from Shaquille, Shaquille O'Neal, the only NBA to go platinum on the record.
You're right.
That was one of his records.
You know what? It's funny you said that. Look, so this year, I'm going to Ghana. Okay? The reason why I'm going to Ghana, two reasons why. This marks the 400th anniversary of.
So to me, success is what you make.
I have a perfect quote for that. It's one that I use quite often. Dr. Mark Victor Hansen, philanthropist and author, best known for Chicken Soup for the Soul. I don't know how many of you ever heard of that, but he states, by recording your dreams and goals on paper, you set in motion the process of becoming the person you most want to be. Put your future in good hands, and those hands are your own. And it ties exactly to what it is that you just mentioned earlier about what is success and what does success mean to you, and how you're able to articulate both your mission, which is your what, and then your vision, which is how you're going to achieve the what towards accomplishing that milestone. And that's vitally important. And as I stated earlier, I don't believe particularly in mankind or whatever. I believe in, if it's destined for me to have, it will happen or whatever. It's just getting to that point of, taking the time out, to invest the time in, so therefore the outcome can be what it is that you need, in order to be successful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the first thing in being successful is being grateful, right? You have to be grateful. And the one thing I would say to be grateful for is being able to wake up every morning since then, because that's an opportunity for you to be greater than you were the day before. You get what I'm saying? And so, yes, I think we can all agree that being successful is in the eyes of the beholder. So what you say success is based off of your thought process and what you think unsuccessful is, right?
Yes.
But for me, I believe success is you setting a obtainable goal and reaching it. You get what I'm saying? Just setting a goal and then reaching it.
You say setting an attainable, achievable goal.
Yeah, achievable.
And then once you're done with that, what's the next step thereafter?
That's right. So I don't believe in no finish lines. There's no finish line. There's no finish lines. No ceilings, no finish lines, no nothing. No nothing. You get what I'm saying? And individuals will put them there. So what you have to do, you have to either break them, go over them, you see what I'm saying? Go around them. Whatever it is that you got to do, but you keep going. So I believe being able to look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, yep, I didn't compromise for nothing or for nobody. That's successful. You get what I'm saying? And to sleep well. You know what I mean? To be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? To know, all right, if I don't wake up, I'm still okay with where I am. Now, I still have goals, have desires. You get what I mean? But I'm all right.
What advice would you offer someone who has that same mentality and spirit as you do, but maybe viewed differently by other individuals whom they may come in contact with?
Well, what I would say is humble yourself. Humble yourself and watch. Watch more than you speak.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? It's the reason why we got two eyes 2 ears and only 1 motherfucking mouth.
Okay.
For a reason. You dig? So watch. And then not just that, listen to fools. Listen to them. So not just individuals that's doing the things that you want to do, but listen and look at the individuals that's not doing the things. You can learn from everybody.
Slow to speak and quick to listen.
There you go. That's what it is. Slow to speak but quick to listen. That's what I would say. But not just that, I will only advise individuals that are ready to listen, because not everybody that look like us you dig what I'm saying? Not everybody is mentor ready. Not everybody is coachable. Not everybody is teachable. So when I can see, or not, it ain't about seeing. It's about feeling. It's a feeling. You see?
Not to cut you off, brother, but I mean, you just sparked something, because I read a post that you put, on Facebook or whatever. Just because you're in a leadership position, doesn't mean that you're ready to lead. No,
you're not, bro.
I mean, I'm just like, oh man, that didn't speak to me.
That's what it's about, man.
I was just like, oh my goodness,
and that's the truth.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. And people think just because you're in that position means absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I will encourage an individual to do. If you're able to walk through the door, crack it open. Leave it cracked. You dig what I'm saying? Leave it cracked. And so there was something I was reading the other day that stated, being creative is being successful, going up a ladder and holding it for the next person. But competition is you making it and then pushing the ladder. So can't nobody else get up there.
So
you dig what I'm saying?
I want to add to that. I was reading a video. I was watching the video, watching the video. And it was the actor Denzel Washington. He said commitment gets you to the door.
That's right.
But consistency gets you through.
There it is. Absolutely. And that's what it's about.
Denzel?
Yeah,
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's thorough. And that's the truth, man. That's the truth. And I am a firm believer in giving back. However, not everybody want it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to waste my time on them. Fool. Get the fuck out. You get what I'm saying? And so what the deal is that individuals may see things and think, oh, I want what you got, so how do I get there? No, you see the result of what I did. Do you really want this work?
Absolutely.
Bruh. Do you really want to wake up at 4:15 in the morning?
Of entertainment.
That's what you see what I'm saying?
My son thinks he can be a YouTuber because so and so made $1 million off and got a house and some dogs.
It's a generational thing.
I'm like,
generational.
You know the hard work that
no, they don't know.
Closed doors?
Bruh, it's a microwave mentality. You dig? You put your shit in the microwave, 5 minutes, boom, that's dinner. No, that's not life.
I can get 1 million views.
Exactly.
Where are you gonna get the equipment?
You're right.
Where are you gonna get the
where you gonna get the money at?
Yeah.
Right.
All of this stuff that goes into it. Well, I can just get on my phone. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
There's this old
Who gonna pay that bill?
See?
There's
we ain't got unlimited data.
Exactly. And even if we did.
Absolutely. There's this old saying, you have 3 types of generation. I heard this from a retired, I don't even know. I think he's still active duty. It was a chief. I think he was security forces or whatever. But he goes on to say you have 3 types of generations. He said the first generation, an officer, whether it be male or female, will approach an individual and say, hey, I need you to pick up that shovel and dig. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Got it. No problem. Second generation will come in and say, I need you to pick up that shovel and dig.
I heard that one.
Why? Today's generation, I need you to pick up that shovel and dig. What's in it for me?
That's right. That's it.
What's in it for me?
That's right.
And that's what we've gotten to right now.
That's right.
We have individuals in society that wants the results. They want the accolade. They want the award, but not willing to invest.
That's right.
In what it is that they have to get in order to get to that reward.
It takes time. But people want immediate accolades, immediate results, and immediate change with no action. And without sweat equity. You get what I'm saying? You got to put that hard work up. Now, what you talking about? I want what you got. Do you really? But you're not even made for it.
Is that necessarily surprising, though?
No.
You can pick up your phone and get access to anything and everything. You got
everything you need.
Machines that will vacuum your floor, mop your floor, answer your door, secure your home.
Google.
So if you have things so accessible, you're taking that requirement of work out of the equation because they're so quick to press a button and get that result. So old school believes in working.
Right.
So that means we have to work harder at education.
Absolutely.
Because they don't know what it's like to work. When was the last time you grabbed a young brother who took their ass to work with you? Seeing how you got that $200. Well, they had to come home sweaty. Go through the back door. Let's get this hole to hold them off.
But you know what? And to your point, though, I think that we can get caught up in that too. The reason why I say that, if your phone was to die right now,
When you say we can get caught up,
we can. And the reason why I say that, I mean, even us right now, because you're right, it's dependency, right? So if your phone was to die right now, the only individual's phone numbers that you will probably remember is yours and your grandmama's or somebody's that ain't changed them for years. And then that's even if you're on phone. So if we don't practice what it takes for that real muscle memory, right? We're going to lose it, and we won't be able to articulate it to the next generation. And then not just that. They want so much and want to know so much. When you remember, what was that? Encyclopedia Britannica? You remember that shit? You remember that? You remember old school? Hey, guess what?
Man,
hey, bro, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, they got encyclopedia in their pocket. Don't even use it. Don't even use it, bro.
What's this? What's that?
This?
Look it up.
How do I make money? How do I do? Everything is right there, because all you have to do is look at individuals that have done it, but be willing to work.
What is it? YouTube,
bruh? Nah, too easy, man. That's what it's about, man. And so success, I think, ultimately is about being willing to put the work in. You get what I'm saying? Being willing to put the work in, and ultimately to give back and to help more people. Have to, man, in their own right. Because just because I like to speak and I like to put platforms on, I want you to be great doing what you do. You may not like to do what I do, so I don't care. But I want to create an environment and a stage for you to be great. And then when it's created, what you gonna do with it? Then what? You can't say, oh, well, he ain't do this for me. No, motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. That's what I believe being successful is about.
Finding value in other people, but ultimately helping them see the value within themselves.
There you go.
Because a lot of times our societies and the way that we're raised and the way that our lives go, you are exposed to things that dumb you down versus that pick you up. So brothers like yourselves, we have to grab a hold to them and show them the benefits of such. Because what it is, YouTube is taking our kids. Video games are taking our kids. School ain't teaching them shit. They can't even write in cursive. I gave a young man a letter.
Hey, some schools don't do it no more. You know
I know.
Right?
Yeah. That's my kid's school though.
You know how I learned that? I gave her brother a letter. I told him to read it. He looked at me like I gave him some Russian. He said, "Sir, I can't read this." What's wrong with you? You got eyes. But he was serious. He couldn't read because it was written in cursive. That's scary. You got to sign the signature. Motherfucker, you can't read it. How the hell you gonna write it? That's scary. That's the society that we living in right now.
But technology.
Technology.
I mean, are we really writing letters anymore?
See?
Or are we typing them?
See?
So I can understand why they're not writing cursive anymore, because theoretically you can e-sign anything. We e-sign APR.
That's right. But see, now we go right back to dependency. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
Watch this.
The email goes down on base. What happens?
Hey, but watch this. Hey, how about this?
2 hours.
You're right. But look, how about this? Let's say we going to travel somewhere different, driving. Your GPS will go out. Yeah. Some people don't even know how to read a map.
Atlas.
Bruh, some people don't even look. They look at it. It was like, what's this? It might look like hieroglyphics to them, right? Might look like schematics. You get what I'm saying?
But can we fault them though?
No, we can't. We can't. So, but we can. We can fault. Look, we can fault them if we don't tell them. So if there's anybody in my household that don't know how to read a map and I know how, that's my fault.
That is true.
You get what I'm saying? That's
mine. Bring that up because we get caught up sometimes in how we were raised.
Oh yeah, though, that's true.
Oh,
and that's true. That's true. But so I think that now we're getting into another subject. But I believe it's our responsibility to not just hold ourselves accountable, but the individuals that surround us accountable. So you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I was going to say, what is the benchmark? What is the key ingredient towards getting that individual to achieve success? What is the key ingredient or ingredients that's needed in order? Because there's this what's the slogan? Attitude plus aptitude equals altitude,
yeah,
or whatever the case may be.
And yes, you're right. I believe the ingredients is balance. It's all about balance. Everything is balance, if you believe it or not. You got your positive and negative shit. You got your Pepsi and Coke. You got different things. You get what I'm saying? You got your male and female, your estrogen and testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have balance. Too much of one, the other one will be off. And then the views will be skewed.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? It's about balance. So if everything is given, it may not be the right intensity, right? But given for the individual to choose.
You know what balance means to me?
What's that?
Believing, accountability,
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
Okay. I had another A or whatever. It just crossed my mind or whatever. I said accountability earlier. And then there's an A for something else or whatever. And then N, networking.
Yep.
C, communication. And E, execution. Man, I'll figure out what that other
But you
A
know
is,
that E part, that execution part, that is the most crucial, because what the brother said, he said, with information without application is just knowledge without application is just information. But knowledge with application is transformation. So if you don't get the fuck up and do something with what you learned, you just there being a smart dummy.
Absolutely.
And you get what I'm saying? You wasting space. And then I hate to do it. No, I don't. We got leaders that do the same thing. They are, when they die, it's like in the African proverb, when an individual die, a wise person dies like a burning of a library. You get what I'm saying? With all of this information, if you don't pass that shit on, what are you doing? You are a waste of space to me. You get what I'm saying? So with all this information and application, but not just that, I blame the individuals that have it, that's not out there being an example to show whatever the youth, right? Going out to these schools, and because the schools could pay.
Yes.
But why? Do I need them to? No. Right? Because really, I'm good, right?
Application.
But application. But at the end of the day, I really want to get this out because it's necessary. I didn't go through the bullshit in Detroit not to say nothing. I didn't go through the bullshit in the military not to say anything. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So now they see me walking in it so they can see that it's possible.
Absolutely.
Now I challenge you to get your ass up and then be successful. You feel me?
You know, something we bring to different audiences is the aspect of purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of people are walking around living life with no purpose. You're sitting still. You don't have a direction.
Nope.
Having an idea means nothing without the capabilities of the execution that y'all brought up earlier. You got to have a purpose for wanting to do something.
That's right.
Unfortunately for young black men in this world, it's kids. It's the fear of going to jail. It's the fear of being killed to sway them elsewhere. But that's a reality that not everyone has to face. So you have to deal with them on a totally different dynamic. So when it boils down to the purpose portion, they get up. We talked about being appreciative when we wake up. It starts there, right? Where did they wake up at? It's something people won't think about unless you've been through it in the deep. You've been through it in the Lou. You've been through it in Tennessee, wherever you're from. You have to have a connected mindset where you can meet people where they are, because they see you walking. They see what you're going to, but they don't see what you've been through. You got to bring that element to them.
And
Sometimes
yeah,
people have to realize that they can't allow to use their current situation to dictate their future.
That's true.
Because sometimes people can't see past their current situation, and that's one of the toughest things ever. And then you think let's use example. We're here in Illinois, whatever, Southern Illinois. We have East St. Louis. We have all these different areas. One of the key commodities that we're missing is mentorship.
Yeah.
And they're not getting enough of it, and that's so critically important.
That's
because, we can walk up in there and they can see us in our uniforms and we have their attention just like that. And then if they try to override us, we're quick to put them in their place with no hesitation at all. And that's exactly what it is that they need. And if we can be there as a sole source to give them the knowledge, the confidence, the competence that's needed for them to move forward. It just takes one time, one individual. Don't have to reach all.
All you need is
it goes
one.
back to your earlier statement.
Mm-hmm.
You said, something along the lines of, hey, when do we stop? Or, when do we press the brake or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I let people know you're not going to become a burden to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, when I give you this advice, it's going to be one time and one time only.
Emotional
And
boundaries. You got to set
got
Mm-hmm.
to sit up there and take heed on what's being given to you, and you come up with a systematic approach towards processing analytically or whatever the case may be towards reaching that milestone.
That's right. Final words. What you got, Will?
You got to care.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things start with one individual caring, and that's contagious.
Mm-hmm.
That become a transparent action to live by if it starts with you just simply caring.
Mm-hmm.
That can resonate to everyone that you come in contact with.
That's right.
What about yourself?
Well, Brother Will, you said that, it's about caring. My thought process is you have to have a foundation. And I think that once you have a solid foundation, the other entities such as caring will evolve with your foundation. Establish a foundation, everything else will take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Larry?
I say this. We all start off as lost souls.
Mm-hmm.
It is up to you to find your purpose.
Mm.
It's just as simple as that.
Mm.
You got to find your purpose.
Yep. And I will, I like that. And along the lines of that, I would say, finding your purpose and really being honest about your why.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's individuals that avoid their true why. They aimlessly do things and acquire things that are frivolous when it has nothing to do with their why, because they're afraid of looking at it. All right, this was the Lion's Den.
That's right.